In this video, we will see the basic features of a web browser. On the left hand side launcher icon, I have the small icon for the Firefox web browser. There are many browsers available. Popular among them are Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Firefox, Opera, Safari, and so on. And for today's demonstration, we will only be using the Firefox web browser. I can launch the web browser in multiple ways. If I have a shortcut on my launcher, such as this one, I can click on that. Or I could always click on search your computer icon on the top and type Firefox. Let me do that. So I get this option and I can click on this. So I could either click on this or I could click on this icon right here on my launcher. So let me launch the browser now. When the browser launches, it doesn't take me to any specific page because I have not set my home page. If I have set my home page, it will directly take me to a set page that I want open every time I launch the browser. Most people use Google or google.com as their home page, and you can choose either a Wikipedia or any other page that you often visit as your home page. Now let's look at the basic features of a web browser. Now if you want to go visit a web page and somebody handed out a website or a web address to us, for example, somebody said, why don't you go search on the Wikipedia by going to wikipedia.org. So what do I do with that address? I type it here. There is this long box here called search or enter address. I take the mouse, click on it, and the cursor starts blinking there, and I type in www.wikipedia.org. Now, as you noticed, I get a lot of drop down options. Now, some of these options are suggested to me because I have been to these web pages before. So I type in wikipedia.org and use the enter key on my keyboard, and the Wikipedia web page is opening. Now this is the landing page of Wikipedia, and I need to click on English because I want to read English articles. I have options of Chinese, German, French, and Spanish, and so on. So let me click English, and this is my home page for the English version of Wikipedia. Let's look at some of the buttons there are other than this address bar. We already know what this address bar does. Now let's look at what this button does. There is this round button pointing to my left, and if I hover the mouse there, it says go back one page. The previous page I was on, if I want to just go back to the previous page, I can click on this. So let me demonstrate that. This is the page I was on, so it took me one page back. And if I want to go one page front, there is this other option I get, which is the right arrow. This right arrow wasn't there before, and now it's come back as soon as it knows that there was a previous page available. So let me click one page forward, and I'm back here. There are no more page forwards that I can go, so the front arrow has disappeared. I now only have the back arrow. There is this other option here, which is also called as the refresh button. Sometimes people advise us to click on refresh, and this is the button they're referring to. It's the refresh button, and it's also called a reload button, reload page. So it reloads the entire page. Let me click on that, and you will see that this page refreshes. It will get the latest information from the server and load it onto my page again. So it's already done that. so I don't need to reload this page again. Now, you may be wondering if we can browse more than one window at the same time. Let's say that I find something interesting here. The Women's Cricket World Cup concludes with England defeating India in the final. So I'm interested in this website. I want to read this article. So, but at the same time, I don't want to go away from this web page. So I want two pages open. One is this home page, another one is this Women's Cricket World Cup page. I could right click on it and I get multiple options. I will choose the first one, which is open link in new tab. And if you notice that this article is opening in a separate tab, so I have the home page here and I have the second page here, which is about 2017 Women's Cricket World Cup. So I could be browsing one, two, or more windows if I want. I could either right click on a link and say open in new tab, or there is another way to do it. I can click on the plus icon here on the top next to the tabs and type in a new address. Let me just type in this time google.co.in. So this is the Google India web page. So this way I can open multiple tabs and browse multiple web pages. So let me close some of these things, including this particular second tab. So these are some of the very basics of browsing the web page. You have the back button, you have the URL typing address bar, you have the refresh button, you have the new tab button, and there are many other options available, including this one, which is for saving your favorite pages. We will explore this in a separate video, so I'm not covering this here. And there is this very last option, which will allow you to do a few things. For example, here, if I find that this web page is too small and I can't read the text, I could zoom in by clicking on this plus. Or if I think it's too big, I can choose the minus, and I can open new windows, new private windows. I could save the page from here, or I could go full screen, or I could see what other pages I have been browsing, what's the history of my browsing. I can print this page, and so on and so forth. So this is the menu option, and from here I can also choose to go to preferences, which will allow me to change the settings of this browser. So these are some of the basic things about using the browser.